Hello everybody, my name is Conrad.
And this is the Stevenator.
We're bringing you a battle report from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. We've got 2,500 points of Empire versus Beastmans. I guess we're going to start off with the lists. We're going to start off with the Empire list. I've got an Archlector, Heavy Armor Shield, Speculum, Dragon Helm, Talisman of Prez, and Tormentor Sword. Got a Wizard Lord level 4, Naked. Wizard Lord level 2, Dispel Scroll. Captain with full plate armor shield and the Razor Standard. Engineer with light armor, because I had a point. Warrior Priest with heavy armor shield, Skaven Slayer helm, Sword of Might, barding on a warhorse. For my core, I've got 48 halberdiers with command, 2 5-man detachments of archers. I've got 9 inner circle knights with command, lances. 4 Demigryph Knights, command and lances, 2 Great Cannons, Hurricanum, Hellblaster, and a Stank.
Awesome. So for my 2,500 points of Beastmen, I've got a Beast Lord, and he's rocking out with Blackened Plate, Crown of Command, Great Weapon, and Talisman of Preservation. And then I've got a Great Bray Shaman who's toting the Shard of the Hearthstone, the Staff of Daroth, and level 4. I've got 4 just normal Bray Shaman dudes running around. One of them has Beasts and the Ruby Ring, one of them has Beasts and a Dispel Scroll, one of them has the Hag Tree Fetish and Shadow Hide, and then one of them is a level 2 of Shadow. And then I've got my Wargore with the 206 standard build, Gnarled Hide, Heavy Armor Shield, Beast Banner. For my core, I've got a 50-man block of Gore with hand weapons, Musician, and Standard, 2 Tuskgore Chariots, and 2 minimum units of 5 Ungor Raiders with Musicians. And then to finish out my list with special, I've got 34 Bestigore with the Standard of Discipline and Musician, 2 units of 5 Harpies, and 2 Razor Gore.
Alright, so this is my army. They're a work in progress. We're currently working on an escalation league, and things are slowly getting to where they need to be. So I apologize for my models. Alright, so here we've got my deployment. I've got my halberdiers right behind them. I've got the 5 archers and the 2 wizards. I've got 5 archers right next to them. Hurricanum, cannon, knights, Hellblaster, engineer, stank, cannon, and demigryphs.
And then over on the other side of the board, I've got, starting from the left, I've got a Razor Gore, my Chariot, some Ungor Raiders, my Hearthstone with the Wizards behind it, my big unit of Bestigore with some Harpies behind them, a unit of Harpies in front of the unit of Gore, and then some Ungor Raiders, the Razor Gore, and a Chariot sitting comfortably in front of that house.
Turn 1 movement. I shuffle some things around. Not a lot, because, well, I'm going to let him come to me. I'd like some turns of shooting before I have to fight Beastmen in combat. And in true Empire fashion, turn 1, cannon misfires and blows up. Fired my Hellblaster at some Bestigore, killed 3 of them.
Alright, so my turn 1, this begins the rush towards the Empire lines to try and get there with as few casualties as possible. You can see 1 unit of Harpies is hiding behind the building, banking on getting some hard cover, and the other ones are as far forward as possible to either charge his war machines or force him to charge me and to come into the charge range of those Bestigore and the Gore and the rest of the army. The Razor Gore and the Chariot move up in the river. It turns out to be a river of blood, so they cause fear, which I guess is useful for the Chariot, not so much for the pig.
Hooray.
And then you'll see my wizards kind of spread out on either side of the Hearthstone. 2 of them are behind the Bestigore and 2 are on the other side of the Hearthstone. And here you'll be able to see the left side of my first turn movement as well. One of the pigs goes out wide to try and get around behind his lines. The Ungor Raiders hide behind the wall. And the Chariot moves up just in case he decides to charge either the pig or the Raiders to get in a position where he can countercharge something and try and be useful. So as far as magic goes, I managed to pull the Hag Tree Staff of Daroth combo on his Hellblaster. Rolled pretty low for the hits, only got like a 6 or something, but managed to roll 3 6s in the first batch and go ahead and take that off the board, which was quite a load off my shoulders.
So I went for a long bomb charge on the Razor Gore with my archers to try to get these guys out of the way so I could get a flank charge on his Harpies with my halberdiers. get them to go after the Bestigor. Archers managed to make it. Halberdiers did not. Failed charge. Yep, there they are. Wide in the open. Missed it by 1. Steam tank went forward though. It managed to get into the harpies. That's the word I'm looking for.
The harpies.
The herpes. Otherwise, not much. Things just kind of move forward, trying to get some charges ready. There's my archers at the Razor Gore. Threw Foz protection onto the steam tank, just in case he wanted to charge it with his Bestigor, try to make it a little more survivable. So, after combat, archers did a wound to the Razor Gore, more than expected.
And the Razor Gore managed to punk 2 archers, which lets them stick around and be a pain in my butt.
Here's the steam tank at the harpies.
And surprise!
Where'd they go? What happened?
It did what steam tanks do and blew some harpies up. So on my turn 2, I realized chances were that steam tank was going to be able to mulch through the Bestigor before they did too much good against it, so I went ahead and put some Ungor Raiders into the side of it to try and hold it up. I realize it's going to kill them, but it'll at least keep it from doing anything to my Bestigors for this turn. The Bestigors make a charge attempt at his knights, and they roll a 6 and a 1, which is a failed charge. They need boxcars, but it moves them 6 inches forwards, which is faster than them trying to walk through the river, so I'm sort of okay with that. I've had my Gore charge into those archers just to try and get that Razor Gore out of combat as soon as possible, because I really don't like those archers being there. It kind of holds up my battle line. And you'll notice both units of harpies are gone. The other unit actually broke and ran just about off the board, which isn't great, but with 2 of his war machines down, they didn't have a whole lot of a job left. And you'll notice the pigs got around behind the demigriffs to put some pressure over on that flank. So this was also the turn I tried to drop the initiative on those knights and throw a Pit of Shades at them, and it scattered off. Didn't do any good, and I managed to put a wound on the level 2 of Shadows, one of the level 1 Beast Wizards, and my level 4.
So, this is the turn where I had the bright idea to charge my knights at the Bestigor. I thought to myself, hey, I can totally kill that Beast Lord. He's got the Stubborn Crown. I'll beat the crap out of him. But I apparently forgot that Steadfast was a thing. But I was confused. Steven issued a challenge, and like the genius I am, I accepted with my champion. Champion still pulled through, put a wound on his Beast Lord, but proceeded to die. I'm running a light wizard, so I had Foz protection and speed of light up on my knights.
So Conrad also tried to charge his halberdiers over into some of the chaff next to my Gore unit, and I fled with the chariot and the Ungor Raiders just to try and keep him from getting too far around beside me, and he failed his charge. Even though both units fled, I feel pretty confident that was the right decision to make.
Here's a Razor Gore, not in existence anymore. I managed to blast it out of existence with my cannon.
Strangely talented at catching cannonballs in their teeth.
So here's my knights charging into the Bestigor. Like I said, going to snipe that Beast Wizard. Got Foz protection, speed of light. We're ready to rock and roll here. You need 6s to hit, and this is what he rolls. After Primal Fury, of course.
But 2 misses isn't bad.
Yeah. Managed to save all but 2. Put a wound on the Beast Lord. Killed a good chunk of Bestigor. And, yep, there we go. Champ's dead.
So here's just another picture of how many Bestigor I don't have now. But now he doesn't get to use lances, so
yep.
With that, form the Gore to get ready to tank a charge from the Halberdiers or the Steam Tank. Now that those Ungor are out of the way, we managed to break the Knights, overrun the Hurricanum, break the Hurricanum, overrun the Demigriffs, and yeah, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Alright, so this is the Bestigor into the Demigriffs. I underestimated my demigriffs apparently. One demigriff already has a wound because there's a sorcerer's portal off on the right, buffing his things and fireballing mine. Here we see I lost a demigriff. He lost a few Bestigor, and he lost his Beast Lord because demigriff put in some work in that challenge.
And my Beast Lord can't roll any 4 board saves.
Alright, here is the next turn. I slammed my steam tank into the side of his gore. Demigriff's getting rid of more Bestigor. Halberdier's shuffling around being annoying. He actually tried to snipe my BSB with his chariot. Chariot clearly failed, but it got away. So, after a few turns of grinding, we were able to get rid of his Bestigor. They just failed a leadership test. It was really bad. I managed to run him down, which ended up breaking Fortitude, and since we were playing Blood and Glory, that ends the game, and I won.
But being such gentlemen that we are, we decided we'd play it out to the bottom of 6 and see how the victory points ended up, just in case it wasn't Blood and Glory. So here's a picture of my Bestigor, all sad and dead. We actually forgot that they had taken a standard from the Knights, but I don't think it would have made a huge difference in the long run. So here I go, trying to steal some victory points. With his Wizards running, I managed to get a double Whistlin's Wildform off on the Gore and Enfeebling Foe on the Steam Tank. So he's down to Toughness 3. I'm up to Strength 6, Strength 7 on the Wargore. And, yeah. So I also have my Pig and Chariot try and charge back into his unit to snipe off the Captain and his Archlector, which failed miserably. They both ended up dying, but I did manage to get a wound on his Archlector. And with all the efforts of the spells and the Gore combined, I only managed to put 9 out of 10 wounds on the Steam Tank, which doesn't quite kill it. So the game ends. We tallied up. It would have been something like 1,100 points.
Versus 1,362.
And then just for giggles, we figured out that if we were doing half destroyed and fleeing units, it would have ended up more like 1,600 to 1,400 in my favor. But
yep,
doesn't matter too much because it was Blood and Glory, and I let my general and the Bestigor die. But overall, it was a fun, enjoyable game.
Very much so.
So check back in later for more bat reps.
Alright, so let's kind of talk about the game. A few crucial plays. When the Bestigor ended up charging the demigriffs, we both kind of had a different head going into that. Steve thought he was going to kind of roll over them. I thought they might stick out for a bit and then eventually get defeated.
I think we both underestimated the demigriffs, so.
Yeah, as happens a lot with me. When they sniped that Beast Lord, that was the part where I think the game really swung around.
I would like to say there was 2 attempts I had to make a better situation out of that. I actually spent a turn trying to get some shadow magic off to smoke and mirrors him out of combat when he was down to his last wound or 2, and just didn't ever get any spells off before I realized that I had run out of my shadow spells to cast and only had the 2 beast wizards left. And then the following turn, I wasn't thinking far enough ahead and didn't move my beast wizard close enough that he could cast Whistlins on the 12-inch range onto that unit after I'd lost the Beast Lord to try and help them finish off the demis. And ended up, that's why I double Whistlined the Gore, which worked out better for hurting the Steam Tank, but not so much for saving the Bestigor.
I think the big issue, though, is you weren't really playing the scenario.
No, I was playing for victory points the whole time.
Which, it's kind of rough because we usually play Battle Line or something with a bit easier of a scenario than Blood and Glory.
Well, and not to mention, I mean, I have 2 units that I've got to split all of my banners between, so...
Yeah. You lose one, it's pretty much over.
Right. And I didn't think... I mean, we've played this game a couple of times before, and I guess I could have tried to rush that Halberd unit, but it just didn't. I don't think that would have helped me out too much. I think you're a smart enough player that you could have protected them or charged me in the flank or something.
And that was a big thing you were guarding most of the game. You were trying to make sure that those Halberdiers didn't get the Gore on the flank, which, I mean, that let the Steam Tank kind of drive into their flank and stop them from doing anything for the rest of the game.
Right, but I think if I'd managed to keep my Beast Lord alive with the Shadow Magic or buff the Bestigor, I would have had a good shot at winning just by victory points and protecting my steadfast.
Yeah. Well, either way, it was a great game. I had lots of fun.
I did too.
Alrighty then.
And
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.